Welcome. This is a recorded video of our live meeting where those in attendance learned the right way to set up their trades. They also learned how to use the Royal Q back office properly and how to avoid the dip. We also have a membership WhatsApp group exclusive to team members only. In this group, we announce the right coins to trade and share coin signals and information. To be a part of this, that is to join our group, follow the instructions in the video description or you send us a WhatsApp message. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Good evening once again. I am Tosan. Some of you know me as Henry. And generally in Royal Q and other businesses, you can call me Tosaka. All right, so I'm going to be sharing my screen, and what we're going to be doing here today is very simple. All we're going to be doing is to know and understand the back office of Royal Q. That I'm sure as you got the app, you must have opened it and seen a couple of confusing things. But trust me, if you enter Binance, you will find out that it's a whole lot more confusing. So the most important buttons on Royal Q is the start button and the trade setting. Once you're able to set the trade properly, once you're able to understand it and understand how it works, trust me, you're going to really enjoy the app. That's Royal Q itself. All right, without wasting time, I'm going to share my screen now, then do a little introduction of what to expect in Royal Q. All right, so I'm going to start from here now. And here we have the mine button, we have the home button, we have the quantitative, circle, news, API binding, revenue, reward details, and invite friends. Of course, I'm sure that by now you must have gone through quite a number of it to see what this does and what that does. I won't be able to touch all the buttons here to let you know what it is, but the most important ones, I'm going to run through them and we go into how to set up your trade and how Royal Q actually does work. So my own favorite part, and the part I actually like the most, is the revenue button right here. Once you open your app and you're on the home page, you just scroll up, you're going to see the revenue. Of course, the API binding, that's the very first thing you are supposed to do. That's to bind your app with Binance, because everything and every trade that occurs happens on Binance. Royal Q does not take your money. Royal Q only has permission to execute trades for you, meaning that Royal Q cannot withdraw from your Binance. Neither can Royal Q help you send money to somebody else. No, it does not work like that. Everything happens on Binance. The only thing Royal Q can do is to set up some specific times where it is going to buy some coins for you. Everything, all your coins must remain on Binance. And we all know that Binance is one of the most secure exchanges in the world. By exchange, I mean like your crypto bank accounts. Earlier on, we've already said it, that for you to be involved in crypto, you must have one thing that is very important, which is a crypto bank account. We call them the exchanges. And for this one, we have actually chosen Binance. So Royal Q is a tool that stands in between you and Binance. If you go on Binance, it might be a bit confusing, but when you use Royal Q is very easy. So I'm going to show you that as we go further in this class. Sorry, I'm going to try to rush it so that we shouldn't spend more than 1 hour here. Hopefully, normally whenever I do this breakdown, it takes about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. All right, so here we have the revenue box, which I said is my favorite. I'm going to click on it right now to take us in there. Now, what is the revenue box? This actually shows you how much you have been able to make within a specific period of time. Here we can see on the 25th, which is today, being a red day, not much has been made. Yesterday, $43, the other day, $75, and so on. It goes on down, it goes on and on and on. If you scroll down, you keep seeing how much has been made. You know, it is very possible for you to make good money using Royal Q. All you need is a good strategy. Now, somebody told me, he says he has been trading with about, was it $3,000 thereabout every month? And he mentioned it, he said he made about $75 trading with about $3,000 in a whole month. I mean, that's absolutely absurd. It happens. It's very possible for it to happen. Like we say, it's not possible for you to lose in Royal Q except you press the sell button by yourself, but the robot cannot lose for you. So now the question now is, how much profit can you make? And that is only going to be determined by your trade setting, by your own personal innovation. All right. So going forward, this is the revenue where you can find all your earnings. So sometimes I just come here anytime there is probably a dip or a little business challenge. I come here to encourage myself, to let myself know that, okay, yes, you did this in time past. You shouldn't worry. You are still going to do even bigger things, and you're going to do greater things. So you can always check that out on your own. Now that you're just starting, you might not have great revenue just yet, but with time, I'm sure that you're going to have that. Hope you're still with me. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Yep.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Uh-oh. Hello?
I can hear you clearly.
Beautiful, beautiful. I just had to be sure, so it wouldn't be that I'm just on my app talking to myself.
Yeah.
All right, so let's continue real quick. So that's it about the revenue. Then I'm just going to talk about this next button to it. Then we go into the trade setting itself. The next button is the reward detail. Now, for reward detail, that's where you find out how your team is doing, number one, and how much you have made from your team. Now, we said Royal Q has a trade aspect where you always get paid by what you get at the end of the day. That's the results of your trade profits. You get paid by that. And also you get paid passive income. Now, what is passive income? When you bring somebody on board, when somebody uses your link to register, there is a particular percentage that goes to you. So if somebody pays $100 now, or $120 for Royal Q app, you are entitled to a percentage depending on your level. Now, I believe that everybody on this call is on V1, is a V1 leader. Who is a V1 leader? Somebody that has registered and activated his account. Now, being a V1, you are entitled to 30%, $30 out of the $120 your downline actually paid to activate the app. So you're entitled to $30. As your rank grows, your earnings actually grows as well. Now, that is just small compared to the second part of it. The second part of it is this: from every trade that happens under your team, you are going to get a certain percentage. Now, these days, you can see that some of them are dull days. If you come to the bigger Zoom meeting, you see some people that have been here for about 6 months. They're about earning about $14,000 every single day. Some of them earn about $4,000. Some of you know them here. Linda, you can attest to that. OBM, that's okay. Baba today earns about $4,000 every single day. Dr. Tali earns about $300 every single day. Now, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So we're going to start by you being a V1. And later on, when it starts working for you, do not keep this information to yourself. Let other people know about it. Now, you don't have to do so much work because we have done the work for you. We have a platform that you can always invite people. All you just need to do is encourage them to read the messages that are on the platform and act on it. So after the message, after the presentation, you go meet them. You ask them, what did you think about the presentation? Do you think it's something you can do? You show them your results as well, because results speaks better than any other thing, so it doesn't look like you're trying to bring them into a program that doesn't work. Because I tell people the $30 I'm going to earn from you is absolutely nothing, and it is not worth my time at all. But I just want to know that, yes, this, while I am making money, my friend is also making money. So when you stop being selfish with the information, you start earning this particular reward. So I believe that as time goes on, once you start earning on the trade level, you look at it and say, this is a good business. Let me bring other persons into it as well. Now, when you bring those people, you earn 20% of their trade profits. Now, when I say trade profits, you remember that you take 80% and Royal Q takes 20%. Now, out of that 20%, Royal Q is going to be paying you as a member 20% based on your level. Even as a V1, you collect 20% of the interests of your downline's profits. As you grow in the levels, you get to 40%, you get to 50%, 60%, and so on. That is why the money actually grows as your level grows as well. So with time, I'll be doing other trainings on that. This particular dwell too much on that, but this has a lot of potential to make you the multi-millionaire and billionaire in dollars that you deserve to be. You can see on this, on the 19th, $52. So those are good days where things are really happening on the system. That's not the kind of money we're looking for. We're looking for real good money. Now, if you can be making $1,000, $200, $100, $1,000 on trade every day and making an extra $3,000 on this passive income side, is just going to be amazing for you, and it is something that can happen. Royal Q is just less than 6 months and people are already earning 15K every single day. Some people are earning 23K, but I'm not mentioning those people because I do not know them personally. These other people, I know them because we've been on the same Zoom meetings together. Then those earning 4,000, I know them personally. I know them on a personal level. So I know that it is very possible and we will definitely get there. I'll remind each and every one of us that I said it and it has happened. I really believe that it's going to happen for you as well by God's grace. All right, so let's go on to the next, which is the trade itself. So whenever you want to start a trade, the very first thing you look at is, what coin do I want to trade? Now that's a different trading on its own, but once in a while you can ensure you are going through what we are putting on the signals group, so you know the kind of coins that we trade. There are some coins that you trade and will put you in a lot of trouble, whereas there are some coins that you trade and no matter what happens, even if it goes down as low as 0.1, you are very sure that this is a good coin and definitely in the future it is going to rise. So you have nothing to worry about in that regard. So the first thing you need to do is ensure you pick a good coin. So when you pick a good coin, you check the history. You can check it on Binance to see how well the coin has been doing and the best time to enter. Now, if you don't know this, you can always contact me once in a while. I saw this coin, I think I like it. What do you think about this coin? I'll show you how to do it. So the only way to do it is to go to your Binance, you check the record of the coin, what it has done, its highest point and its lowest point in the last 1 hour. That will guide you on the best time to enter. You check the lowest points in the last 24 hours and the lowest points in the last 1 week. So that will tell you how low this can actually go. So if you use that as a guide, there is every 70% of the time you are going to make it, apart from the 30%, which is the surprise factor that the market usually brings. So the first thing, like I said, is ensure you pick a good coin. Now, where do you find all these coins? You click on quantitative. You can see quantitative right here. Let me just touch it. Quantitative. So this is quantitative. You click on quantitative. Then you search for the coin. Now, let me see, what coin do we want to trade? Right now, I'm trading AVAX, Inch, ADA, and FTT. Now, don't let this floating loss scare you. It is very, very normal in Royal Q. Now, when your floating loss starts getting to 15%, 20%, now you know that there is a slight challenge there. What do I mean by challenge? It only means that you are going to wait longer, a little bit longer before you take your profits. So in this place, the trade is always open until you make profits. Now, this FTT coin has given me about, I think altogether it has given me about $150 or $200 thereabout. AVAX has given me, I think, close to $600. I love that coin so much. So let me use AVAX as our point of reference today. So when you want to check any coin, you search the name of the coin, AVAX in this case. So can you see it has shown AVAX there? Now you might click on AVAX and it will not show on your own path. Why? Now let me explain that real quick to you. Now, when you click mine, I hope you are with your apps as well, that you can check these things that I'm saying. So when you click on mine, you see this place that says Professional Edition. Now, this Professional Edition only means that if you are a starter, if you are a newbie, as much as possible, just trade the regular coins. Don't bother with trading professional coins. But yeah, there are some coins that we trade that are not available in the regular mode. Now, what is the difference between the regular mode? This is the regular mode. You see how I toggled the button, and this is professional mode. One second, refusing to turn on pro mode. Okay, now this is professional mode. Now the difference between the two is this: on regular mode, you don't have all coins. You don't have all the coins listed there. That's all the coins available on Royal Q. You don't have all of them listed. But in pro mode, you have extra coins. Now, what's the difference between the two? Some of them are new. AVAX is a relatively new coin. It hasn't been tested with time. KSM is a new coin. It hasn't really been tested as such. FTT is a new coin. It hasn't been tested as such. ADA is not a new coin. ADA is tested. ADA is one of the top 10 coins you should have in 2021. So ADA is not in pro, just in pro edition. It's in the regular one and the pro edition. So if you want to see all coins, you need to click on the pro edition and answer some questions. When you answer those questions, when you understand the app, you answer those questions and they will open the professional mode for you. So that's that. So AVAX is not available on regular mode. So what I would do is let me go for a coin that is only available on the regular edition for now. So later on, you can put on your pro edition and always ask for guidance if you want to trade any coin in pro edition. But most of the coins on Royal Q are actually those that are at least 70% safe. Now, those ones in regular edition are 95 to almost 100% safe, but I don't believe anything is 100%. But then it's really safe. And the ones on regular mode are also safe, but just because they are new, Royal Q is saying that you should understand the risk and you should be a professional trader, know when to trade, and also follow the news and some other things. That's why they limited it to professional mode alone. All right, so I'm going to turn off this professional edition for now. Then we go back there and search for, you see, if I search for KSM, I'm not going to see it there because it's on pro. It's not on pro mode right now. So let's go for Atom. Atom is a coin that is doing pretty well as well, and it's an okay coin. It's one of those coins that even if it's down today, it can be down for 2 months, 3 months, it will still peak. So that way you can never lose your money. The only thing is that it can tie down your money when you are in the dip. I'm still going to explain some other things and how to escape the dip, maybe in this class or the next one. So once you search it, you click on Atom. You can see the cost right now is 39.79. So my Binance app is not on this phone. If not, I would have gone to check the history, how well it has done in the past 1 hour, in the past 24 hours, and in the past 1 week. So that will guide me in knowing the lowest point to enter and the highest point to enter, to guide me in how much I should use to start the trade and where to set the margins at. Now, let's do this real quick. Let me see if I still have some money to trade. Everything is already in trade, so I won't be doing any demo trading right now. So you click on Atom. there, and you see the first thing you see is your position amount. What is position amount? Now, I was telling somebody last week that the fact that you have 10,000 or 5,000 in your Binance, that doesn't mean that is what you are trading with. You can have 1 million in your Binance, and at the end of the day, you are trading with only $10. So the money you are using to trade at the moment is what will be in your position amount. But right now, we're not trading anything right now. So there is nothing in my position amount. Then the same thing, average price. Average price just means, okay, you know what we'll do? Let me go to an existing trade. I think that will be better. So just assume it is Atom we're using, and AVAX is not available in the regular version. So I'm using Pro version right now. So let's just look at this. So what this means is I'm currently trading with $149 altogether. Now this average price, what this average price means is this is the point at which I entered. So as much as possible, we're always desiring to enter at a low price. And the idea behind trading is buy it at a low price and sell it at a high price. You cannot, as a business person, buy a bag of rice. I don't know how much a bag of rice is right now, but let's just say 20,000. Buy a bag of rice for 20,000 to sell at 10,000. You are not a business person if you are behaving like that. Or except maybe you are running a charity organization or you are running an NGO. The idea behind business is that you buy at a low price and ensure you sell at a higher price. And that is the same principle that is guiding this cryptocurrency trading. So my average price just means this is the amount that I bought my own coin. Now, let me explain the concept of Royal Q to you. It uses a strategy called the martingale strategy. Now, what is the martingale strategy? It's just opening different positions to ensure that you have a lower average price. Now, let's show you the difference. Let me show you the difference between a regular trader and a Royal Q trader. Now, for a regular trader, let me use this example. You buy a bottle of Coke. I'll be needing your response at some point. So once I ask the question, please unmute yourself to be able to answer me. Now, if you bought a bottle of Coke at 100 Naira. Sorry, this is not 6, this is 0. You bought it at 100 Naira and you wanted to sell at 100 and maybe 20 Naira. So you bought it, you ensured you chilled it before going to the streets, like those guys selling gala and stuff on the road. You got to the road and you saw that the sun was really high and people really wanted the Coke. The demand for the Coke was very high. And you decided to sell this Coke at 130 Naira. Now, people bought it at 130 Naira. And what happened? You made a profit of 30 Naira. So you are very excited. You go back home, you buy another bottle of Coke at 100 Naira again, hoping that the next day you do the same thing and go back there, you come back with extra change, just like you did yesterday. But unfortunately, before leaving the house, a heavy rain fell. Now, when rain falls, who wants to drink a cold bottle of Coke? People are really looking for coffee or looking for tea. So the demand for coffee or tea will be higher at that moment, and your bottle of Coke will almost be worthless at that moment. So on getting to the market, you discover that a bottle of Coke was being sold for 50 Naira. And don't forget that you have bought a bottle of Coke at 100 Naira. So the question is, what would you do at that in that situation? You bought a bottle of Coke at 100 Naira, and at the end of the day, you got to the market and found out that it was worth only 15 Naira, meaning that the price of the Coke had dropped. So you can't sell it at 130 anymore. It is now 15 Naira. What would you do? So I'm waiting for somebody to answer me there.
I'll wait.
Another one.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, sir.
Okay, so what I could do is I can wait till it rise again. And also another thing is that if I have confidence that Coke will still be in demand, like for example, the rainy period will go and then the sun will come again, I can buy at 50 again. So if I buy at 50, what it means that my average price would have dropped from 100 to like 75. So that's my understanding. I don't know whether I'm correct.
Beautiful. That's even going beyond what I expected. That's wonderful. So let me go back to the page, and that's just it. So when you buy a bottle of Coke at 100 naira and it drops to 50 naira, a regular trader would say, let me go back home and wait till it is 100 naira again before I can sell. Now, the bottle of Coke might not be 100 naira the next day. It might not be 100 naira the next week. Even it might take a month before it becomes 100 naira again. But a regular trader will be waiting for it to get to that point before he sells the Coke. But what somebody would do, what the robot would do for you in this case, is to buy 2 extra bottles of Coke for you. So it means now, if it buys 2 bottles of Coke at 50 naira each, it means it has bought 2 bottles at 100 naira. And don't forget this bottle that it bought here. So making a total of 3 bottles that it has bought at a total of 200 naira. So if you find the average of 200 naira, 3 bottles of 200 naira, it means 1 bottle will be worth about 67 naira, actually 66.6, but I don't like that number, so I'm not going to use that. So let me use 67. So it's going to buy at 60. Each one is 67 naira. So you don't have to wait for it to get to 100 naira anymore. Your average price has now changed. Now, this 69.75 was not my average price before. I'm sure I bought at 71 naira. But the moment I bought one, that's called a margin call. Anytime your robot buys anything for you automatically, that is a margin call. It means it has called up one of the margins. So in this thing, you have to set up several margins for the robot to be able to buy. Now, what is a margin? You're telling me that at this point, I want you to buy. At this point, I want you to buy. Now, the distance between 100 and 50 is a margin. So it dropped from 100 naira to 50 naira is a particular margin, and the robot bought 2 bottles of Coke for you. So it means that 3 bottles of Coke, each one at 67 naira. It means all you just need to do is wait for it to get to 80 naira. Once it gets to 80 naira, you have made how much? 13 naira on each. And if you have made 13 naira on each, 13 times 3, that should be 39, if I'm correct. So you have made 39 naira by selling the 3 bottles of Coke when it became 18 naira. Instead of waiting 1 month for it to get back to 100 naira, you just waited a few days for it to get to 18 naira and you sold and made even more than you would have made if you had waited for 100 naira. So that is the principle of the average in Royal Q and in trade in general. Okay, so now anytime, just like I said, anytime the robot buys for you, that is a margin call. It has called one margin. So here we see the average price, the current price rather. This is the current price. It guides you and lets you know that, okay, yes, it's almost getting to my average price. So the idea and the desire is that your current price passes your average price and you collect 1.1% at the end of the day, depending on how you have actually set it. Now, this is the return rate. This is where I like to look at to guide me most of the time. So this is minus 1.1. What I am waiting to get is 1.1%. So once I can get 1.1%, I'm okay. The robot is going to take the profit for me automatically, not minus. Don't note this minus. It has to turn to plus. For it to turn to plus, everything must get to 0 first. It must go all the way down to 0, then start climbing up before it gets to 1.1. So that's the return rate, how I use it to guide to guide myself. So it is very important for you to ensure that you buy at a low rate and sell when it is higher. So if you buy at this rate, you have to set a margin so that you can buy a double on your next margin. That's if you have good capital. That's why I always advise people that if you want to enjoy this thing, don't trade with anything less than 3,000. Don't trade with anything less than 2,000 if you really want to enjoy it. Now, 500 is okay. 1,000 is really okay. It's not small money, but if you want to really enjoy it and guide yourself from the deep, you should ensure that you have at least 3,000. Now, that 3,000, you divide it into like 4 places. Use one to trade from the first to the 5th margin. Then if anything happens, maybe in a bearish market, it comes down by maybe 20%. All you just need to do is match your whole investment there, and you are going to see that this return rate is going to cut. It's going to slash by half. And when it slashes by half, it means that it's closer to your current price, will be closer to the new average price. Let me demonstrate that with one of the trades I have running, one of the problematic trades I have running. Let me use this. Yes, let me use inch as the example. All right. Now, inch, I've bought it at a very high, when it was really, really high. I bought it, unfortunately. So I did not see the problem in the market. There was a problem in China, I think about 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? There was something we call FOD in trading. It's called the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Whenever there's fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it affects the people in the market. And when people start dumping their coins and start running, the value of the coin begins to depreciate and it begins to go down. So the FOD actually took place, it happened, and this started going down. It was worse than this. I think it was 7% in the morning. It has improved beautifully. Now, I want to demonstrate something to you. Let me use the manual buy. I'm not buying anything, just to demonstrate. Now, observe this points. The average price. Yeah. Observe this average price and observe this profit and loss. Okay. Now, if I want to do this, I have 721 currently on this trade. Let's assume I want to match it with another 721, or let's just make it a round figure, match it with 800. What has just happened? Remember, I said you should look at these two, the average price and the position profit and loss. My current position profit and loss is minus 8%, and I still have to get to 0. Now, look, when I bought these extra coins, what happened to it? Look at the estimated average price is now 2.602. Former average price was 2.726. And now my estimated holding profit and loss is now just minus 3.95. Can you see the difference between minus 8.35 and minus 3.95? It means it can get here faster once there is a recovery in the market. So I always tell people that once there is a major problem in the market, wait for it to get to its lowest point. Once it gets to its lowest point, don't waste time, don't wait 24 hours, match it immediately. Once you match it immediately and it's not going down extra, the next time it's going to pump, you are going to recover and you're going to get your money. So you are not going to spend time in the dip at all. The dip is a normal thing for every trader. You cannot escape it. It is not a course. You will always enter the dip. When you enter the dip, the question is, can you come out of the dip? How fast can you come out of the dip so that you can continue using your money to make more money? What the dip does is it traps your capital for somebody else to be making profit somewhere else. Now, when you wait and you hold, at the end of the day, you are going to make your money back with interest. So do not be afraid of the dip. You cannot lose in crypto, in spot margin trading. That is what we are trading. We are trading spot on spot. That's what it is called in Binance. You cannot lose. All the coins, all the good coins, as I say, they're all on a journey. On a journey to where? For example, ADA is currently at 2.4 something at the moment. It's about 2.4. ADA is on a journey to $20 by December, by God's grace. I believe that's where it's going to. But even if it doesn't get there, it will get to $10. So it's on a journey to $10. Now, on this journey, it will get to 2.4. From 2.4, it's going to drop back to 2.2. before it rises to 2.7, drops again. So we are going to be taking advantage of all these drops. Now, whenever it drops, you might just be feeling tired of life. Like, what kind of business is this? In fact, even I, myself, I think about it sometimes. When I enter the deep, I just think, are you sure this business is for me at all? It happens to every single person. That's why they say cryptocurrency is not for babies. It is not for the faint-hearted at all. Anytime you feel that doubt, always tell yourself that these coins are on the way to, they're on a journey to greatness. And all you have to do is you are the one actually looking and watching, witnessing that particular journey. Now, I bought Ethereum some time back. I bought Ethereum at 350,000. I wasn't a trader then. Traders, is not easy to be a trader. I was just a basic holder. I just did it, just bought it for 350,000 because my spirit just loved the coin. And I left it there. My mind was, I will just come back to it when I'm less busy, maybe in the next 1 year or 2 years. By the time I would check it in the next 6 months, this 350K was already 4 million naira. That was just amazing. I did not witness the journey, how it went from 350, dropped to 200. I didn't see it when it rose to 400 and dropped again to 200. So all that heartache was not mine. I didn't have any problem with that at all. But as traders, you are going to be seeing it every day, especially when you are opening your app. I have a friend, once she opens her app and she sees ADA, ADA down, she will screen grab it and send it to me, say, see ADA, see what ADA is doing. And I will just begin to laugh because I know how she feels at that moment. You are feeling like a trader and it is very, very normal. So the idea now is you try to trade smart. Don't trade like a gambler. A gambler will carry all the money and put it in a particular position and be praying to God that it should pass that position. That is not who we are. We are traders. So put your money in a particular position, knowing fully well that it can drop, and prepare for that drop that is going to come. With smaller drops, you prepare for the smaller drops with your margin configuration. That's your margin call. You prepare for bigger drops with your savings. All right, so that explained. Let me go back to the regular coin that we are trading. If you have any questions, please just note your questions. So I would answer them immediately after this. Once I'm done showing you the margin, the trade setting itself. Okay, let's continue using this. Let's continue using inch. So I've explained the position amount. I've said that is the amount you have in the trade at the moment. As the robot is buying for you, the position amount will keep on increasing. Now, the average price, I've explained it to you. The number of margin calls is a record of how many times the robot has bought for you. So in this case, the robot has bought for me 5 times. This position is the quantity of the new coins that is bought for you. That's the quantity of inch. In this case, is inch, the quantity of inch. But I don't really bother myself with this because it's really of no use to me in calculation. The current price shows the price at the moment. And I said return rate is the distance between your profits and your potential loss. So I call it potential loss because it's not actually a loss. It's only a loss if you use this button by yourself. So the moment I press sell, and press confirm, I have sold and accepted loss. I will never accept loss in cryptocurrency except maybe for greater good. Maybe you see you have $10,000 there, and you just see it at $1, maybe $1 is just going to miss. You just remove it, knowing fully well that you can make that $1 within 1 minute here. So we don't use this sell button. As much as possible, ignore the sell button. Even the buy button is just on a few occasions that you decide to use the buy buttons. Now we are going into the trade settings before I come back to this place, this particular site. Now, the first thing you do when you come into a trade is to do the settings. If you don't do the settings, it won't even allow you trade. Now, when you get into the trade, this is the way you are actually going to see the screen. You are going to see it's going to tell you start. It's going to show you start and trade settings. You can see it down here, start and trade settings. So if you press start, it's not going to pay any attention to you because you have not done the trade settings. Without the trade settings, the robot cannot function. Now let's click on the trade settings. Good. So the trade setting, the first thing you see there is your first buy-in amount. The recommended one, the reason I put 10 is because 10 is easier for me to calculate. But the recommended first buy-in amount, according to Royal Q, is 15. But let's just use 10 for easy calculation there, and you will understand why I'm using 10 in this case. So if you want to change your first buy-in amount, all you need to do is click on that. You can change it to 15 if you want. You can change it to 10 if you want. Anything you want to change, you can change it from here. So your first buy-in amount is 10. This open position double means that you wanted to enter with a double price, double the price. So if you want to start the trade, you say enter with 20 instead of entering with 10. You know, I don't really put my mind there. I don't use it most times, so I leave it off most of the time. That's this open position double. I normally leave it off, except in some cases where I just feel like putting it on. It's of no use to me anyways. All right, so the next thing is the margin call limits. That's how many times do you want the robot to buy for you in this trade. If you say I want it to buy for me 5 times, it means you have to set up the parts and the positions that it will buy for you. For example, remember we said when you have buy a bottle of Coke at 100 naira and it drops to 50 naira, you must have set it. If you are using the robot to do that, you must have set it in such a way that it drops to 50 naira. Now, what is the difference between 100 and 50 naira? It is 50%. So you're telling the robot, if it drops by 50%, buy me 2 extra bottles of Coke. So let's stop using Coke for now because we're using the coin. So let me click on margin configuration now to just show you what I just demonstrated. All right. So you see on margin configuration, you can see we have 5 calls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 calls. Because why do we have 5 calls? Because we set it that way. Let me go back so that you can see it clearly. Can you see I set it at 5? Now, let me choose another number. Maybe let me choose 7. 7 is the next most common. That's actually the most common setting. Margin call limit 7. So if I go back to margin configuration, can you see? I've programmed it to buy for me how many times? 7 times. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times it's going to buy for me. So let me leave it at 7 for now. I'm not going to save it since I already have a trade running. So now the first call, you are saying at what point should the robot buy first and how much is it going to buy? Now a coin that has been moving from maybe $60 to $65, moving between 60 and 65, 60 and 65. So you know that your margin should be within that range as well. There's some other margins can just be in case of anything. So your first call now, you decide that, okay, when it drops by 1%, I use 1 second. Okay, stop sharing my screen there. All right. Okay, so you can change this to maybe 1.5 or 2.5. When you master the art of understanding the movement of the coin, it will guide you in how to place your first call. Like in a situation where the coin is pumping and is not coming down as it ought to, you make the margin lower. You can put it, if it comes down by 0.5%, buy me 5 times. Now, what does this 5 times mean? It means 5 times your first buying amount. What is our first buying amount in this situation? Our first buying amount is 10. Okay. So let's go back to margin configuration now. So if it drops by, the reason it has changed back to 0.3 is because I didn't save it. Once you don't confirm it, it won't save. So if it drops by 0.5%, remember our return rates. If it drops by 0.5%, what happens? Buy me 5 times. 5 times what? 5 times 10. Our first buying amount. Remember, our first buying amount is always 10. So every one of them will be times 10. Times 10. So if it drops again by another 1.5% from this, buy me times 20. Times 20 is what? $200. So it's going to buy me 200 at this point. It's to buy me 50 at this point. At this third call, it's going to buy me another 200 and so on. So that is what the margin call is. It's just setting the positions that your robot will actually buy for you. You are telling it if it drops by, in the case of the Coke again, let me bring that example again. If it drops by 20%, buy me a certain amount, buy me 2 bottles. That means that if your Coke drops to 80 naira, it's going to buy you another bottle of Coke. So if it drops by another 10% from that other side, so it means that if it gets to 72 naira, it's going to buy you another drink, on and on and on till it gets to the lowest point, till it has spent all your margins, till it has gotten to this 7th margin. So if you don't understand it well to this position, to this part, let me see it in the comments in the chat section. So I'm going to be in the chat section for the next 15 seconds. I hope we have that. So do we understand it to this point? That's to the margin, because if you don't understand it to this point, I don't think I should continue. I should go further, because the margin, understanding the margins is very important. Hope you know your way to the chat section. If you don't, just unmute yourself and just let me know if you understand it and if you are following.
Yeah, I understand it. It's clear enough.
Okay. Okay. Someone said, can I explain it again? All right, I will. Mr. Tosin, I hope you are following us. Mr. Ige as well, following. Noble 95. Hope
Yeah, I'm following you also. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So you understand it so far. All right, so I'm just going to take it back slightly, a little bit. Now, remember, this is our first buying amount. First buying amount is 10. Anything you tell the robot to do will be done in multiples of 10. So that's very simple. Whenever the trade wants to start, it's going to start with $10. So it's better to start with something small than to start with a huge amount. So that's why I always prefer using 10. Now, the margin call limit is just telling you how many times you want your robot to buy for you in the course of the whole trade. So while trading a particular coin, every time it collects 1.1% successfully, that is the end of that trade. But till it collects that 1.1, it will continue, it will hold on to that trade till it sees that 1.1%. So you're now telling it that in the course of this trade, I want you to buy for me this number of times. So we are telling it, buy all for us 7 levels, at 7 different points, buy for me. For example, I use the Coke as example. I said when it drops to 50, it will buy you coins. That is one margin call. It has bought at one margin call. If it drops to 40 again, maybe you've instructed it to buy you again. Maybe that's the second margin call. If it drops to 35, maybe that's the third margin call. Anytime the robot buys for you, that is a margin call. So you have to set the margin calls, the margin configuration. You have to configure the margins, telling the robot at what point it needs to buy for you. When you have configured those margins, you can go and sleep. That is why I can put my robot on and go and sleep. And the robot will keep doing it for me and keep doing multiple trades for me till I wake up. Then when I wake up, I can decide to change the settings a little bit because I know that the price of the coin has gone too high. And definitely when there is a pump, there will always be a pullback. So I will increase my margins to ensure that it buys for me at a longer margin. So let me go into the margin configuration one more time. So you remember I said we have set it for the robot to buy for us a total at 7 different levels. That is what they call we call margins. So at 7 different levels, at the first level, second level, third level, fourth level, fifth level, sixth level, and 7th level. So at this level, we're telling the robot that at the first call, I want you to buy, I want the price to drop by 0.5%. Let's assume the first call is at 0.5%. So it means that if your price now, if your coin is 100 Naira now, and it drops by 0.5%, the robot is going to buy you a certain number, a certain amount. And what is the amount? 5 times your first buying amount. Remember, you can always change this. If you want 10 times, you can write it there. But in this case, I wrote 5 times. So it's going to buy you 5 times 10, which is 50. Don't write 50 there. If you write 50 there, it's going to buy you 500. So if you want it to buy you 50, you put 5. So anything multiplied by your first buying amount. Remember, our first buying amount is 10. So if our costs, if the coin costs 100 at this point, and remember we have already entered with $10 when we started the trade. The moment it drops by 0.5%, what is 0.5% of 100? You really don't need to bother yourself with all this calculation because the robot is going to calculate it for you all the same. But you can just have a mental picture of the distance that you want it to go. So if it goes 0.5%, what is 0.5% of 100? That is only $5. Okay, 10% is $10. So 0.5% will be $5. So if it drops by 0.5%, that's going to be $95. Okay, I'm actually using 5% to calculate it. Okay, so if it drops by that particular price, what is going to happen? It's going to buy me this particular one, which is 5 times 10, 50. So the same thing, if it still drops again by another 1.5%, it's going to buy me 20. That is 20 times what? Times 10, which is 200. So it's going to buy me 200 at this point. If it drops again by 0.25, we are hoping that it will not drop. And remember that anytime it buys you this margin, your average price becomes lesser. So the distance between your current price and your average price will not be too far again. So if it has bought you at this level and is able to go up to give you your 1.1%, the trade ends and the new one starts afresh, depending on if you want it to start afresh. There's a way you set it for it to continue trading for you consistently, and there's a way to set it for you if you want it to trade only once and to stop. So that is what this margin configuration is. As it drops in percentage, you tell your robot to buy you a certain quantity. Drops in percentage, buy me another quantity. Depending, so you set all this according to the money that you have. So if you don't have, if you are using maybe, let's take $100 as example. You are using $100 and you say, buy me 50 times here. 50 times 10 is already 500. It's already 500. Where is the money? So you have to configure it in a way that it suits your capital. So you divide your money in this side. Don't forget, you have put your money into 4 places or 3 places, depending on you, and you are using only one part to trade. So if you are doing 2,000 or you are doing 3K and you divide it into maybe 5 places, meaning that you are using 600 to trade at once, what happens? It means that you have to ensure that all these margins has 600 in it, can accommodate 600. Now, it's going to happen as you are trading that sometimes it will not get to this, your desired margins. You want it to go down and buy for you, keep on buying, but it might not get there. It might just get to only this place before it goes to 1.1%. And at the end of the day, you are making profit on only maybe $50, whereas you have over 3,000 in your wallet to trade. It's painful that you are making $10 this time in a place where you could have made $100. Do not worry. Don't let it bother you at all. That is the gambler in you speaking. That's no, why you should have put bigger. You should have put bigger. Don't bother about putting bigger. Just keep on doing and collecting the little that you can. There was a day I made just $75, but that same day I did 37 good trades of 1.1. So if I had been putting my real capital in at that moment, I should have made about is it $3,700 or $370 altogether. You know, so don't worry about that. Just take whatever little profit you can get, and work towards beating the system steadily. You'll get to a point where you see that the coin is stable and you can get your 1.1 neatly from those places. So that's all about the margin calls. So let me leave the margin call section now to go back to this place. Now, all position take profits ratio set at 1.3. Normally, you know, if you've noticed, I've been talking about 1.1 and not 1.3. You know, you can change it to 1.1. If you like, you can say you want to collect at 10% and not at anything lesser than 10% is left to you. But normally, because we want to take advantage of the upward and downward movement of the markets, we want to take advantage of the volatility of the market. So we decided to put it at 1.1 because we know that it will drop, it will still drop, and at the same time, it will rise. So if it goes to 1.1%, it's easier for it to get to 1.1% than for it to get to any other position. So let's put this as 1.3. 1.3 is good for a bearish market, a bullish market. A bearish market is best to use 1.1. because the coin is not really going up as it ought to. So 1.1 is a good place to be. So all position take profit ratio only means that is how much you want to profit you want to make there. Remember, I said if the space gets to 1.1, you take profits. So if you set it at 1.3, it will wait for this to get to 1.3 before it takes the profit. So everything about your trade is on this page, this particular page. You can get everything you need to get about your trade. All right, so back to the trade settings. So now we see, we understand the all position take profit ratio at 1.3. Then all position take profit callback. What does that mean? It took me a while to understand this. In fact, the people that really I thought would explain it to me, they couldn't really explain it to me properly. Excuse me. They couldn't really explain it to me properly, but thank God I got to understand it because it's not so important, but it's good for us to learn it and it's good for us to know it. Now, what does this mean? It just simply means that you are telling your robot to give you 1.3 profit, right? But you are now telling you, it's now telling you that there is a possibility that this thing rises above the 1.3 and goes to 2 or goes to 4 at the same time. That is why this 0.1 is here. So it's just telling you that when it gets to 1.3, it's not going to sell for you immediately. It is going to wait for it to drop by 0.1. So meaning you are going to get only 1.2. That sounds like a bad thing, right? But now look at it in this from this angle. Now, if it gets to 1.3, in a case where the market is pumping and it goes to 1.3, it does not go back. It keeps rising, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7. It goes up to 2.4. Remember, the robot has not sold. It's waiting for it to drop by 0.1. So at that point, the moment it drops by 0.1, it takes profit for you. So it means that you can make more than 1.3 on a particular trade. Now, some people like to set this at they like to set it at 0.5, because it's more likely to work. But we prefer 0.1 so that it doesn't delay us unnecessarily. Give us our profit at 1.2, or if it's going higher, we can take it at whatever level it actually gets to. If you are not interested in any of them, you can leave it at 0. 1 second, please. Okay, so you can leave it at 0. So let's just leave this at 0.1 in this case. Don't worry, if you have any question, please, by all means, just write it out. You can put it in the chat box. So once I get there, I can see it and re-explain anything you do not understand. So that's the whole position take profit callback. Now, we have the buy-in callback as well. What is the buy-in callback? The buy-in callback just means when you get to a margin where the robot is supposed to buy for you, instead of waiting, it's going to be going down on a downtrend. If it goes lower than that particular amount where it's supposed to buy, it will allow it to continue going down till it rises by 0.1. So it is the opposite of the other take profits callback. So it's just an opposite of that. Also, I don't really put my mind there. Sometimes I set it at 0 because it's not super important to me. Then these two underneath. This two, 1 second. All right, this two underneath, distributed and take profit allocation. I'll explain it after I explain the box in front. Okay, like I said, we are going to deal with this after the trade margin configurations. So we've done the margin configuration, so we can now deal with what is on this box. Once you have finished configuring your margin, all you need to do is press start. So once you press start, it will tell you, do you want to start a strategy? You tell it yes. And voila, the trade starts. Okay. So on this box, we have the one shot. What does one shot mean? One shot just means you are trying to tell the robot that once you take profit of 1.1, I don't want you to enter the market again. Now, we do this to some certain coins that are frustrating us. And for the fact that we just want to take profit, after that, we don't want to trade such coins again. An example of such a coin is KSM. KSM was doing very well at some point. Then I went into the market and the thing started becoming very slow, very, very annoying. The thing happened to Ethereum at some point as well. It stopped moving well. So we had to move to another coin. So what you do is you just click on one shot. Let me now demonstrate it and click on one shot so you see the effects. I want you to look at this dashboard. Now, if I click on one shot, did you just see what happened to it? It changed from cycle to one shot. So meaning that it's going to take profits 1.1 once. After that, it's not going to open any trade again. But if it is on cycle, once it finishes and takes the profit of 1.1, it's going to enter the market again with start afresh with $10. Remember, your first buying amount is $10. It will sell all these things, give you 1.1% profits, and open the market again with $10 instead of the full amount that you have here. They start using all the margins afresh. So the whole trade will start afresh. So I like to leave it on cycle. Cycle is good for me, except I don't want to trade again. Then the next thing we see is the sell button. We all know what sell can do. Then the same thing, we all know what buy can do. If you want to buy manually, you can go ahead and use this. If you want to sell manually, you can go ahead and use the buy and sell button. Then this open margin call, that's sometimes once the market is going down, you can lock it and tell it to stop margin call. So in this case now, I've already stopped the margin call. I don't want it to buy anything for me again. So let me open it. Can you see this is how it ought to be normally? It ought to be on open margin call. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this right. Hope it hasn't bought for me. Let me close the margin very fast. So it is closed. Now that's what that does. If you don't want the robot to keep on buying the margins that you have set up in your trade settings, like these are my own margins, I've set it. If it drops to the 7th call, if to the 6th call by 0.5, buy me 250. I don't even have the money right now. All my money is in the trade at the moment, and so I'm waiting for profit. So it's not even going to buy this for me at all. So what I did was to stop the margin call because I don't want it to buy for me in this coin anymore. Now, somebody might ask, how do you know when to stop the margin call? You would actually know because you are the one that has your money. You are the one that knows what coin you want to focus on, and how much you want to put. Like, for example, now I put 721 in this one, in this coin, and the thing started going down. I know that for me to bring it to a reasonable position, I should be able to invest another 721, which I do not want to invest right now. I want to wait for it to get to the barest minimum, invest whatever I can invest, then watch it recover. But this inch is a great coin, and I'm sure that by tomorrow or next tomorrow, it should have recovered 10% again. Now, this was because of the FUD from China as well, and all coins have been picking up beautifully. So now, the one I really love the most is this strategy mode. Now, it is very simple. When you click on strategy mode, there are 3 basic strategies here. We have the whole warehouse mode, we have the sub-beam mode, and the sub-beam mode real time. So please pay attention to this. Many users and many masters of Royal Q still don't understand this. I personally had to go and ask their support system to explain the sub-beam mode and the sub-beam mode real time settlement to me. So there are some people that are trading and are not taking advantage of these things. By default, your own will come with all warehouse mode, or some of them might come with sub-beam mode. Now, what is all warehouse mode? The mode that you are running, first of all, will show here. So this is where you know the mode you are running. So right now, I'm running sub-beam mode or sub-beam mode real time. They are both the same. I'll tell you the difference shortly. So the whole warehouse mode just means that the robot is going to calculate your average from your first margin to your last margin. It's going to calculate the average of everything and wait for it to get to cross over that margin by 1.1% before it takes profits. So remember I told you about, I like going back to the example of the Coke. You bought 2 bottles at 15 naira, you bought 1 bottle at 100 naira, and it found the general average. If it continues going down, maybe 30 naira, you keep buying, it will find the average for you and wait for you to pass. In sub-beam mode, it does not wait, it does not calculate the general average from the 5th margin. So on sub-beam mode, it sees the 5th margin and below as different trades entirely. So meaning from your 1st to your 4th margin will be calculated. It will calculate the full average of your 1st to 4th margin. But from the 5th margin, it will calculate the average quite all right, but it will isolate that particular 5th margin and wait for these points to get to 1.1. Now, let me do the sub-warehouse. Can you see this is my 5th margin? It has even put the records in for me. The 5th call, it bought my 5th call at 2.67, and it bought $250 at that point. So now, if it bought at this point, it means that it's just going to wait for this to get to 1.1, and it will take profit. They recalculate the average again. So it means that you can be in the dip and still be making profit. For a while, when I was in other dip, I was still making good profits in other dip till other stopped moving, and I moved out from other to push other coins. So that is what sub-beam mode actually means. Now, there's a difference between sub-beam mode and sub-beam mode real-time settlement. The great thing about sub-B mode and what people love about this sub-B mode is that Royal Q does not charge you the regular 20%. Remember, anytime you make profit, Royal Q takes 20% and you take 80%. But in sub-B mode, Royal Q does not take the 20% because it knows that you are trying to recover from a dip in the market. So they don't charge you the 20%. They leave it for you to do whatever you want and to keep trading or keep putting it in the trade. But the bad thing and the downside of this one is that it does not record it in your revenue. So if it doesn't charge you for the money, it means the profit never happened. It happened in Binance, but they are not recording it because they are dashing it to you. So some people don't care. Some traders feel like, oh, that's a good thing. For my fifth margin, I run sub-B mode. Don't bother recording it. So far, I can see it on Binance. You don't need to show me the records in the revenue board. The revenue board, I showed it to you when we're starting this class. So the good thing now is that they have now brought this sub-B mode real time. Now, for the sub-B mode real-time settlement, what it does is this. It will charge you the normal 20%. It's the same thing with sub-B mode, but it will charge you the normal 20% and it will record it for you. So I like to use sub-B mode real-time settlement. I don't mind that 20% I'm giving because I know that the 20% is actually going to the community mostly. Most of it going back to the Royal Q you are doing. Some of it is coming to me as your leader. Some of it is coming to your direct upline also. So it is within the team. It's going to happen to the same people that you are going to bring as well. So the people that you are going to bring, you are going to get out of their 20%. So I don't mind using this sub-B mode real-time settlement because I like to see the amounts that I am making. I don't mind giving them that 20%. So I will choose sub-B mode real-time settlements anytime, any day. So if you are running from the first to fourth margin, all warehouse mode is for you. If you want to run bigger margins, please, by all means, use any of these two. Any of these two. So if you have any questions regarding that, please put it down as well. So I think I've been able to touch every aspect of this. So once you have set it, the most important thing, like I said, is your trade setting. Once you choose your coin, to recap on what we just said, when you open your page, go to quantitative, click on the currency, search for currency you want to trade, click on it, then go in, click on the trade settings, set up the trade as you want it to be. Your first buying amount, the number of margin call, you can use 7. 7 is a good number. 7 is a good number to use. And your margin configuration. So margin configuration, I said, is at the point at which the robot should buy for you. If it drops by 0.3, you're telling the robot, buy me 50 times. Don't forget, this multiple buying ratio is multiplied by your buying amount. So whatever you write here will be multiplied by your buying amount. So my buying amount is 10 in this case. So 5 times 10 is going to buy me 50 at this point. It's going to buy me 200 at this point, buy me 200 at this point, buy me 10 at this point, buy me 250 at this point, and so on and so forth. Now, this call just means if it drops by 0.3%, buy me this. If it drops by another 1.5%, buy me this. So once you have all this set up, you can click start on your dashboard and start to trade. You can drop your robot and go and sleep, go and relax. Anytime you hear a notification that it has taken profit, you can come back to the margin configuration and increase your calls a little bit because you know that the higher the coin goes, the lower it's likely to come in future. So what it does is some coins will go high, go high, go high. Then at the end of the day, it just quickly drop so that you can trap some people on top. So don't be trapped on top. Once the coin is going up, set wider margins. This my first call is 0.3. If it goes up, I can set it to 2. I can put it at 2. So that's basically what margin configuration is. A margin configuration is the soul of the business, is the soul of your trade. If you don't set your margins properly, you cannot maximize your profits. Now, I'll show you one more thing before I close. The last thing I'm going to show you is for people that are so busy. There is a feature where you can copy the trades of the masters. Now, some people feel like because they are masters, you should be making millions per day. No. Masters trade, they trade in a conservative manner, meaning that you're not going to see as much profit as you ought to see, but still is a safe way of trading. So you click on this space called circles. You want to, what they call is synchronize with the master. So I will add it, I'll drop it on the group, the procedure for that. I'll drop it on the signals group this evening or tomorrow morning, but I'll just show it to you now. Now, you click on circles. Once you click on circles, you're going to see the number of people that are there. All these are circles. You can decide to join. So anyone you want to join, you join the circle. If you have somebody in mind, you can click, you can search for the person. So this is my own circle called Eat Signals. I just started it. I'm not doing anything with it though. Eat Signals. So you click on it. It has 7 members. The first thing you do is to join the circle. So once you join the circle, you can now sync your trade. Let me use somebody else's own. Let me use somebody else's. Okay, Great King, no more data. So what I do for Great King is I will apply to join. So once I am approved, I go ahead and sync my strategy with Great King. So that is what it's about. So if you want to know who to join, you can come and check here okay, yes. So you see this person, AI bot, he has made 104,382 USDT in trade alone. So you can toggle this button. 1 second. For some reason. This button, you can toggle it to see it by percentage. Okay, can you see? He has made 24,674% of his capital. So such a person, you can click on him and just click sync trade. So once you do that, you click, once you click sync trade, it's going to synchronize his strategies with you. So you see, I've selected Crypto Bull. Now he's trading AVAX, Dodge, and so many other coins. So if I click sync strategy, it's going to ask me, what is my first buying amount? Can you see this profit sharing? Profit sharing just means it's going to charge you 1.5% of whatever profit you make. So my first buying amount, you can make it 10 or you can make it 15. Then how many strategies, how many coins of ease do you want to trade? Most of the time, I advise people don't trade too much, except you have super capital that you are using. All these guys, they trade with so many coins, so you can just choose maybe 2 or choose 3. So the moment you click sync strategy, it's going to open those trades for you. Unfortunately, I don't want to sync my strategy with anybody because I feel like my own strategy, me tweaking my strategy, my margins, earns me more profit than these guys can actually earn in a trade. So with that brings us to the end of this this class. We hope to do this again sometime soon. And the next time we see, I expect to see wonderful revenue on your revenue board. I also see good profits there, and I would really appreciate it if you can share testimonies once in a while to encourage new people that are in the introduction group. Once in a while, if you have good information, please go ahead and share it on the introduction group. Buttress some of the points that I'm making so it doesn't look like I'm the only one talking and making money in the group. There are lots of people making money, and I can actually prove that to us. You know, if you can see on a day like this, you see there are people making money, but people are not saying anything about it. People actually do make money in this business. So please, by all means, be part of the system. We work as a team. We grow as a team. So if you have any challenges, feel free to reach out to me. So right now, I'm going back to the Zoom to see if we have any question. So do we have any question, or are we good for the night? I'm sure I must have done a lot of justice to this topic. So let me check the chats box quickly to see if I have any question.
Please, can I ask a question?
Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, I want to confirm. So, you know, when you talk about the 80-20, so does that mean that if I make, let's say from my trade, I make $100, so how much will be my own that will go to my Binance as my profit? Is it 80 or 20? I don't know. I'm not clear about that about that area.
Okay. But when we say 80-20, 80 goes to you, 20 comes to Royal Q. Now, remember I said Royal Q does not have the license or the authority to dip his hands in your Binance to take your money. It cannot. Because when we were binding it, you notice that there was a point where they wrote enable withdrawals. We said no. All we clicked was enable trading, meaning that it can execute trades on our behalf, but it cannot touch our money. So the whole 100% goes to you. Now, how will the robots make the money? I have to share my screen for that now. All right. So once you sign up, remember you signed up with a certain amount, which was $120 in your time. I don't know if there's anybody that paid $140 here, because it has actually gone a little bit higher. Now, $120 is the activation fee. Then the remaining $20 goes into your assets. Now you can see my own asset is 143. I put it there because I want to make more money, and I don't want the robot to be disturbing me and telling me that it is low. Now let me click on the assets and go further. So what this just means is that anytime profit is made, Royal Q will come to this asset and withdraw it from this asset. So it means that we have paid money into Royal Q in advance. The 120 you paid, remember 20 of it came here. You can confirm that from your back office. 20 of this was given back to you because they were running a promotion. Now, when that 20 finishes, you have to put another one inside. Now, I sent you a video where you can get your USDT wallet, how to get your USDT wallet. Let me just run through that very, very quickly. If you want your USDT wallet, you just click on assets. Okay, then you click on deposits. Let me do that again. From your home, you click on mine, you click on assets, then you click on deposits. When you click on deposits, this is my own unique robot address. So with this, I will just copy it, click on copy successful, and go and paste it in my Binance to send a particular amount into this place. So once you run out of your $20, that $20, maybe you have made $100, remember it is going to take 20 out of it. So anytime you make profit, it will remove 20% of whatever profit you have made from the robot, but everything remains intact in your Binance. Does that answer the question, sir?
Yes, I think I get it. But when I check mine, my asset is showing 0. So I don't know. I don't know whether I say I have 20.
Look down a little bit. There's a place they call RP. Can you see RP?
RP. Let me see. RP. No. So I have assets. Where will I see the RP? Is it after the asset?
Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay. So can you see my own assets? Click on the assets. Can you see 143?
I can see your own asset. I can see 143. But when I click on my own asset, oh, okay, I've seen it. Good. Don't worry, I've seen it.
Good. So that is your own 20. But anybody that is coming in now will not have this RP as 20. All the person's assets will be here.
Okay.
So they are going to deduct from you. That is your own personal bonus because you took part of the promotion they were running then. So anybody that is coming now will activate with 120. And not only will they activate with 120, they have to put an extra 20 in their asset box. So that as they are making profit, Royal Q is taking their own share of the profit.
Okay, so the second question I want to ask is this. So let's assume that I'm using 1,000, I have 1,000 in my Binance. And then based on the trade that I've set, I've used the entire 1,000, right? Okay, so let's assume, okay, let me put it this way. Let's assume that I have 1,000 and I've said, okay, maybe it should be maybe first, maybe 7 calls or something. And then maybe by the time it is on the 5th call, but the entire amount that I have in my Binance has been, maybe at that time, is exhausted. So I don't have any money again to trade. So, and I'm seeing the dip. So what will I do at that particular point in time? Because I don't have money to trade again and I'm in the dip. So am I supposed to stop the strategy, or what am I going to do in that case? I just want to have an idea.
Okay, now you asked that once you are running a strategy with $1,000, okay?
Yeah, and, for example,
your margins has already bought all the $1,000. You have spent all your margins, maybe your first to 7 margins has taken off the 1,000, and you happen to be in the dip. What will happen is you are going to turn to a holder. Now, there are 2 kinds of people in the crypto market. We have the holders and we have the traders. Now, we are traders right now, but the moment we enter the dip, we turn to holders. So the idea is we don't want to hold for long. That is why we need to top our capital. So if you have 1,000, my advice to you is to divide it into 3 places or divide it into 2 places. Use a particular percentage to trade. So if you get caught in the dip, you can bring another half of it and put in the market to reduce your wait time by half.
Okay, I get that.
Yes, once you do that, you are not going to stay in the dip long. You're going to recover faster, so you get your capital and keep on trading other coins. But if you are in the dip, there is no problem. All you just need to do is wait, keep checking your coins every day to see if you've come out of the dip. If you've not come out, just go about your normal business. If you have extra money, you can infuse it into the system. But if you don't have, just wait patiently. You are going to come out. But just be careful to choose the right coins that are moving well, doing well as well, so that when you get into the dip, you are very sure that within a short period of time, it's going to bounce back and it's going to bounce back stronger.
Okay, that's
okay. It's my pleasure. So do we have any other question? All right. So in the absence of no other question, I believe that everybody here knows how to set it straight. If you're having any challenge, feel free to send me a message. I will definitely get to answer it at the end of the day. So thank you very much for being a wonderful audience. I'm going to close the meeting right now. Mr. Texi, thank you for recording this message. So he's going to send us a link. So if you